Welcome to Deepnight Revelation. We are back after taking a week off, and then we will be taking next week off because it is Thanksgiving. So this is our last game for November. But we will be picking up. These guys jumped into a system to refuel. They found that there was a slightly exciting planet here that they could basically restock um, some of their food and various other items. It has potential. And while they were eyeballing that, another ship came out of jump and emerged in the system. And the other ship is a Tenzig-class exploration vessel from the Solomani Confederation. And they were immediately, well, not immediately. The ship acted strange. It came out of jump and it was facing the wrong direction. And then after about 15 minutes, they finally course corrected to put them on course for the main world. And then it took about another 15 to 20 minutes before they even recognized that there was another ship in system. And that led to them then hailing Deepnight Revelation, wanting to a standard coded message, wanting to know what ship they were. And when they talked to the commanding officer, they spoke with Lieutenant Carstairs. Damietta Carstairs was in command of the RSS Frank Wild. And the thing that immediately caught their attention was that, first of all, this is a lieutenant in command of a ship, which is odd, unless something really dire may have happened, with usually leading to or from the death of the commanding officer, and probably the XO and a number of other people that would be a higher rank. So that was a little weird. The other thing that came about in the video transmission is that they recognized that she, while wearing the Solomani Confederation naval uniform, she had a different colored cap. Her cap was not black; it was a light gray, and that is the telltale sign that she is not Navy. She is actually from what is called SolSec, Solomani Security, and she is a political officer. And every Solomani ship has a political officer aboard. And the political officer's job is essentially, well, it's exactly what it sounds like. Their job is to make sure that the ship is run under the draconian guidelines of the Confederation. And the SolSec officer has 100% remit to replace the commanding officer, but there's no backward channel. So there's really, unless there's another SolSec officer, there is no avenue that the crew could take to remove her from command. They would have to find another SolSec officer who would then be able to do so. And so that was the high weirdness. And then the third strange thing is that they discovered that embedded in this transmission, using Imperial Third Imperium communications protocols, was a hidden message that basically requested their assistance, saying that the captain of the Frank Wild was confined, political officer is in command, situation unstable, and will cooperate if you assist. So essentially, somebody aboard the crew sent a message asking the travelers and Deepnight Revelation to assist them in essentially performing mutiny against the SolSec officer, Lieutenant Damietta Carstairs. And that's where we left off. These guys haven't even really responded as to how they're going to deal with that. So, before we get started, I would like to bring attention to the fact we do have, or I have, a new book on sale. It is called Four Castles and Crusades and Old School Essentials. There's a version for each, called Werewolves of London, and it is it's a werewolf adventure, and it takes place in the city of Lendon in the Borderlands for the Braunhaven campaign setting. High shenanigans, lycanthropy, the curse that it keeps on giving. So that's up for sale on Drive-Thru RPG. Also, I would like to bring about the attention to the fact that I will be having a Braunhaven Thanksgiving Day sale. And so that will be going on from Sunday the 23rd through December 2nd. And that will be 50% off all Braunhaven PDFs over on Drive-Thru RPG. So if you're wanting to get somebody a PDF or something like that for the holidays, now's the time to be looking to do that. And so that will be available starting on Sunday. All right. So let's see. What was her last? You guys had a little bit of a conversation with her. So essentially, Damietta Kerstairs, she is very tight-lipped. She has let you know that she is a part of a Solomani Confederation convoy. It's an exploration convoy, which would naturally explain why they're all the way out here. But beyond that, she has, I believe you guys asked, she refused to give you exact numbers on how many ships are in this fleet, and she essentially dodges questions or gives very clipped answers that give no real information while essentially attempting to ask all the questions. Now, for a reminder, where is it? Come on, I know it's in here. I put it in here. And we looked at it 2 weeks ago. Tenzig. That's right. So this is the Tenzig-class exploration vessel. It is a whole whopping 2,000 tons. So there's not a whole lot to it. Deepnight Revelation clocking in at 75,000 tons. Clearly outguns the Tenzig class, and even somebody. I mean, the overall feeling that you get in or have gotten in the communication with Lieutenant Kerstairs is that she's not very experienced. At least she's not very experienced, at least in a command position. The other thing that you kind of get the general vibe of her, is that she seems slightly paranoid. I mean, you guys are way out in the middle of nowhere, and she is towing that Confederation line of don't give away information to the enemy, and etc. etc. She's not offering up any information to fellow explorers, and you guys are years away from your prospective polities. Not to mention the fact that there was no war going on when you left, and there wouldn't have been a war when she left. So, I mean, she seems like she's a little bit on the paranoid side. I'm sure the idea that one, that she had to take command, and two, that she's probably completely aware that there are members of the crew that are not 100% on her side. So maybe just because you're paranoid doesn't mean there aren't people out to get you. And so maybe some of that has something to do with it. So this puts the ball in your guys' court. In fact, I will bring back up the system map.
God, I so badly want to talk into the microphone and say, tell her, don't turn around.
They're right behind you. Yeah, I mean...
Well, not for that paranoia part, but for the, what is she?
Right.
She's Der Kommissar.
Right, exactly. Well, and that was another thing. The other one of the other oddities when she first initiated the video call, um, the first thing that you would have noticed is that one, yes, it looks like a very crisp and clean and well handled bridge. Everything's where it's supposed to be. Either because the ship is actually run well or it's through fear. And the second thing that you notice is that there were two armed guards on the door to the bridge. So, yeah, that's a little odd. Usually, even Confederation vessels usually don't post armed guards on the bridge of an exploration ship out in the middle of bumfuck Egypt and where the fuck are we? So that would be a little odd. So how do you? So when she initiated the call, she did identify herself as Lieutenant Damietta Carstairs. She said that this is the Confederation Navy vessel RSS Frank Wild. Lieutenant Damietta Carstairs commanding. What ship are you? So she wants to
I
know
swear
who
to
you
God, we
guys
already
are.
answered that question.
You may have. That was like the very last bit before you got the embedded transmission.
We would give the official name and the Deep Night Revelation. I can't remember is it the Deep Night Corporation? I can't remember the.
Yeah, Deepnight Exploration LIC, Limited Imperial Corporation, um, is the official moniker.
Yeah, so we'd give her the official,
We're just a
statement.
company. We're a corporation.
We're an exploration vessel that are. This is what we're. How many years out are we now? 6 years out.
At this point, you are approaching about 9 years, maybe more like 9.5 years. You're almost there.
So so I'll explain that. Yeah, we are. We've been jumping for 9.5 years out of Imperial space. We are in fairly good condition. If you need assistance of any sort, we can provide it.
Whoever wants to can make an electronic sensors plus intellect or education check, and you get a +2 to that.
Sensor startup. I could do comms, but
I mean, you're still pretty damn good at sensors. It's just
Right, that education bonus, man. Jesus. Well, okay. So
you win.
so you look over and
yeah.
you kind of attenuate the sensors, and you immediately notice, and keep in mind that the distance, of course, from here to here, that ain't meters. That's a long effing way. Um, these maps, it's really next to. There's no screen big enough that I could do, and that I could do the maps to a decent scale to show how big space is. So this is a long ways. I mean, that's what at least 1 AU. So it's a distance, and your sensors come back, um, and after a brief ping, you give your explanation, and the ping comes back, and you notice that there is a alteration in the uh, in the drive signature of the Frank Wild. Like there's a I mean, at a 16, you can tell that there is a wavelength of electromagnetic frequency that's now missing. It's gone. At the
From a
same,
drive?
yeah. At the same time, somebody can make a electronics communications plus intellect or education check.
I'm sorry, say that again. I missed what the score. The
Problems.
You make an electronics comms plus intellect or education.
Well, I can't do a 14, or 16, but
14 will do. So you pick up. So at the same time that your ping picks up the change in the drive signature of the Frank Wild, Mel picks up a different embedded communication. So the previous embedded communication was cycling. It was the same message over and over again. Now a new one has come up, and this one states, weapons and drives disabled, time extremely limited, attempting to regain control from political officer, please assist.
all right. So my initial instinct is not my circus, not my monkeys. I don't know what you guys think. If they're the idiot
I'm always
civilization that believes in fucking having political officers on board ships to take over, then fuck them in the face.
I'm always a big believer in hearing out what their hypothetical plan would be.
So, I mean, this is just a text message that's embedded in your comms, in their comm signal coming from the Frank Wild, and it's using Imperial transmission codes. So either, I mean, one very blatant possibility could be that there is an Imperial spy that is aboard their ship. The other possibility could be that either they have somebody that was on the front lines, you know, or along the edge of Imperial space. Something like one of their crew members spent some time, you know, looking at Imperial transmissions. But these are authenticated Imperial codes, and that's how they're embedding it so deeply in the Solomani communications.
Do we communicate back with the same codes?
I'm not sure if we can disguise it.
Then what's our option? Board the ship?
We can inform them that we've noticed there is a problem with their engine, and maybe we can embed it in that communication. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, if you want to say that, Mel can make another electronics comms plus intellect or education check to embed whatever response to this text message that you want, and attempt to hide it in the communication.
Maybe just like proposal question mark.
I guess like either proposal or like what are your plans? Like intentions? I mean, it's clear we can put like some amount of words in there.
Yeah, I mean, they're sending. I mean, they're clipped, but I mean, they're short 4-sentence messages that you can, you know, safely tuck into your communication. I mean, so Mel could, with his communications check, essentially do the reverse of what they're doing and use Solomani transmission codes to hide it in your transmission. Basically just the reverse.
Do we have their codes?
Well, that would be why you would need to make a. I would think that you would have some of their codes, maybe not all of them, simply because I mean there was a pretty big war between the Imperium and the Confederation.
I mean, if they've got
Two pretty big ones.
if they've got Imperium codes, why wouldn't we just use the Imperium code?
I mean, you could. I mean, either the only reason why you may not want to use the Imperium code is because you're trying to hide it, and you don't want it to be floating at the top with your video transmission. You know what I mean?
I can give it a stab.
Yeah, just sort of to me, it means that we're assuming that whoever we're communicating with knows both sets of codes.
Right. Yeah, you don't know who's sending this message. Yeah, go ahead and make another electronics comms plus intellectual education. So, meanwhile, Sarda, you're saying, hey, we noticed that there's a change in your drive signature. Is that what you're essentially covering this up with?
Yeah.
And so you say that, and your transmission goes through, and a moment later, you see basically some static and what appears to be fast movement on the bridge. Almost like a camera blur. It's moving, trying to keep up. So some people are moving around quickly, and the transmission is cut. What message are you sending back, Mel, as the text message?
I believe it's just going to be, what's your plan?
Okay. So
That plan might be in action right now.
you receive a tight beam that starts out with the same message again: weapons and drives disabled, time extremely limited, attempting to regain control from political officer, please assist. And then it is followed with another message saying, ship has suffered 2 misjumps. Captain had mental break. Political officer assumed command. Wandering aimlessly, jumping randomly with bad drive, trying to find fleet. Jump drive in need of repairs.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's awesome. So I will communicate again. We're noticing that there is I'm again trying to communicate, noticing that there is a problem with your drive. We have drive engineers that can make repairs. We also have the jump directions of how we got here from Imperium space. We'd be happy to share those communication that route with you.
At this point, you get no response, but you can make another electronic sensors plus intellect or education.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a mutiny was actively going on. You said this was a sensors, you said?
Yes.
$14.
Okay. So you're noticing now that you've been scanning this change in their drive emissions, you're seeing that their maneuver drive seems to be disabled as well. They didn't just shut down the jump drive; they shut down all the drives, along with the weapons. When they said the drives were disabled, they weren't joking. And the Frank Wild is of course on its present course, which in about 15 hours will bring it into this main world the hard way.
Okay, we've got to go try to stop that from happening.
Okay. All right. So everybody wants to. So I take it everybody wants to board a scout ship and head over there. What?
I mean, yeah, we can't just.
How are you?
I mean, we could just let them screw themselves, but it seems like a bad idea.
How are you gearing up, and are you taking extra personnel? How are you doing this?
Are we really going to do a hostile boarding action?
Is it hostile if they're not able to shoot back? I mean,
They
yeah.
will once we're on board.
I mean, the assumption
Pack
is
stunners. Pack
the
stunners.
the assumption at this point is that said mutiny is no longer imminent. It is currently underway.
Yeah, pack stunners. We don't want to kill everybody.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, so
Can I set my laser rifle to stun?
laser rifles can stun. I'll just shoot for kneecaps. Yeah. So, Pappy, how are you gearing up?
I'm gonna go with my standard imposing, like that suit that kind of looks more like a bodyguard than like regular wear.
Oh, okay. Hold on here. So you are going with.
I over there. You okay?
Guy in here. No, it's just tired sneezing nonstop there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like,
I know
I
that
just
feeling.
heard a lot of coughing and something. I'm like, oh no.
The weather here has changed, and so I've been going through that as well. Where did that? Oh, here. So this one, standard body armor.
Yeah, that one. That's the one. Standard body armor.
Okay.
No one knows who I am or what I am.
Uh, so yeah, I mean, you can wear standard planet side dress along with this, bringing the total protection to +5.
I dig it.
And what kind of pew pews you taking?
Yeah, I'll bring stunners.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
Is I suppose we can't do a hostile environment suit, right? Like, what's the best goddamn armor I have? Because I don't. This could go very fucking bad. So
I mean,
close to our end goal.
you could do a hostile environment suit, but here's one thing to keep in mind about even a vac suit. So, it's going to be so if you wear a vac suit or a hostile environment suit, you're going to be at a -2 to any -1 to any recon checks, and you'd be at a -1 for any kind of fine motor skill. So because I mean, fat finger gloves, you know. So there's that as a downside. But yeah, you could go with an HEV.
All right, I'll go with the body armor one.
Okay.
I'll also carry a stunner, and by also I mean in addition to my subby.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what I figured. That's why I was asking Pappy if he's packing anything else.
Besides my regular stunner?
Right. Besides the stunner.
Or besides, I mean, I guess I can go. I don't. Like I generally always go with my laser rifle, so I feel like I'm gonna have the laser rifle as a backup, just because I feel like that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, so you're bringing the laser rifle. Are you bringing your pistol?
Of course.
Okay, so laser rifle, laser pistol, and stunner. What about Sarda?
I'm bringing the vac suit, but I've got the thing that lets the helmet pop on and off.
Right.
And the gloves. So, you know, if I don't need it to be vac suity, I can
You can retract the helmet.
retract
gloves.
the helmet and gloves. Yeah. And then I'll do what I usually do, which is the stunner and the flechette pistol. What's that stupid thing called?
Needler.
No, it's the.
I think it's literally called a flechette pistol.
But not if you played Expedition to the Thornberry Peaks, then it's still the Needler.
Yes. Well, and it's funny because a lot of those games from the late 70s through early 80s always called them needlers.
It's the
Always.
Gauss pistol. Gauss pistol is what I meant.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
take your Gauss pistol and
And the stunner.
the stunner.
And what the hell? I'll wear my rapier too. It's very
go,
It's very fancy.
go very fashionable. We're boarding the ship of another nation. We have to dress up.
Yeah, I don't know how to use it,
Well, you know.
but it's very fancy. So
So you guys have tech level 12 stunners, don't you? I think that's what we decided. So 3D stun damage.
yes,
All right. So you guys load up on tasers. Thing.
I should probably also bring my mechanics bag
Okay.
since we're going to be theoretically just going over there to
yeah. I'm looking
fix
at
some drives.
Yeah,
tool
that ain't a
kit.
bad idea.
I'm not fantastic with maneuver drives. Is anybody decent at that? I'm really good with jump drives, and I've got a 0 in everything else.
I've got an M drive.
Okay, cool.
Power and life support.
Nice.
I just flash it.
And mechanic.
Well, we need a good pilot to just link up with these guys right now.
Mm.
Yeah, I've got an electronics toolkit and
Sorry, I'm having high weirdness from Roll20 again.
You ready for the pilot check?
Yeah, go ahead and make a piloting plus dex check. Be a little bit better. Okay. All right. So no problem. So what are you setting your thrust at?
We're gonna go maximum thrust. Gonna get
Okay.
there as fast as possible, and then slow down as fast as possible to get there, because
Gotcha.
it's already happening and we can't bullshit.
So you'll do a flip and burn at the halfway point, and you are going for ultimate speed.
looks hella cool.
I think you got to do a power slide into it.
Just for shits and giggles, I started watching The Expanse again the other night. Holy shit! That the first couple of episodes where they're answering the distress call, man, they did such a good job of really setting the tone for how the environment itself is an adversary kind of situation. Okay, so with an 11, Pappy, you max out the speed. So you are clipping along you're doing a full burn at thrust 4. Your grav plates are barely hanging on, and you are um, blasting your way toward them. You should arrive at that distance. You should arrive with about 6 hours left on the clock before they start to enter Atmo of this primary. And so, I mean, there's nothing for you to have to worry about here. You're not really dodging asteroids or anything like that, or gunfire for that matter. You make your way over to to this Solomani ship, and for Pappy, because he didn't see this last time. These are the specs for the Tenzig exploration vessel. I mean, she outguns the Deepnight scout, but I mean, 1 or 2 volleys from Revelation, and she would be dust.
Well, let's hope she doesn't try and gun at us, because that'll be a bad day for her.
One of the things that Poppy would probably notice, and he's probably not seen this very often, and you don't see this very often. This is a 2,000-ton D-ton ship. It is streamlined and designed to land on the planet. There are some merchant vessels that are designed like that, but even merchant vessels, when you start getting over, about the 1,500-ton range, it's usually preferable to send shuttles. And this one is completely kitted out for planetary landings. But this is an old design. It has come up. I mean, when it first popped out of jump into the system, Revelation's computer, when it detected it with 65% certainty that this was a 2,000-ton ship, probably a Tenzig-class. It pulled it right up from the warbook, and then the longer that it was in system and they scanned it, it jumped from 65 to 95%. Revelation knew exactly what this thing was as soon as it showed up. So, Pappy, you can make another piloting plus dex check to try and get a seal, a lock for docking. That will be a routine 6+.
Ready? All right, guys, time to lock and load.
Excellent. Okay, so
I made it.
and this is looking looking at this ship, the Deepnight Scout. Once again, I don't see a regular airlock. It looks like the only way in and out of this thing is through the cargo bay. Which, hey, that's fine. Big door is better than no door at all. But
it means we're not going to lock airlock to airlock.
I mean, yeah, that's a little weird. I want to say that's probably a design flaw in these deck plans. There must be a regular airlock here somewhere. Maybe this is it, because that would go nowhere. Opening this door would send you out into space. That must be it. That must be it. Oh yeah, here it is. 15 airlock. So yeah, it is down on deck 1. The small cargo deck. So yeah, there is an airlock. So yeah, Pappy is able to bring her around and creates a standard seal with the Frank Wild, and of course Frank Wild's door is locked. How do you want to go about that?
I thought you were gonna do a bootleg and we just fly out the back of the van.
Yes. A-team style. Just tuck and roll, man. Just tuck and roll.
Yeah, right. Get into the store. I guess we can. Do you want to try hacking it first? I mean, it takes a bit of time, but
Doesn't it take hours?
It could.
it's the DC is pretty high to begin with, so speeding it up would make it that much harder. Might kick it from like a 14 to a 16 if you're trying to rush the job.
That's true. You could. Um, let me take a look. Yeah, I think you're right. I think normally that could take hours. So there's of course the obvious way. You could just use a laser drill.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, we definitely have one of those,
You
and
definitely have one of those.
and nobody
Like, would
expects
that
that.
not just like damage that indefinitely though?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, it could. If you're careful, the piece can be welded back into place. But yeah,
you get some duct tape,
yeah, just a little duct tape, and you're fine.
some airlock.
I mean, the other option, of course, is you can hack it. You can do a mechanical check to try and force the door open, which would take minutes.
Is that mechanic strength, if I recall?
It would be, yes.
Yeah, I'm really bad at that.
Electronics, computers. Let's see here.
Yeah, if I recall, it was mechanic
So
strength.
I got -1 on that particular roll.
Let's see. I think
The strength, I definitely can't do it.
I mean, I have it, but I do have -1 on the roll. So effectively,
I have
So I mean,
like,
hacking
basic
into a
strength.
secure computer network is a 14 plus usually. Yeah, 1D times 10 hours, but you're not really hacking into a secure network. You're trying to unlock the door. So I mean, you've got secure and then you've got secure. You know what I mean? What kind of software do you have? Do you have infiltration?
Let me see. I'll lend you my computer if you don't have that.
And there
I
is
don't.
there is another option that you guys are
I knock on the door.
We could just ask them to unlock it for us, couldn't we?
yeah. I mean, you
Like,
can
hey
make an
guys, let us
electronics.
in.
You can make another electronics comms check and send them a text message and say, "Hey, open the door."
Open the pod bay door, Hal.
I don't.
All right.
I actually
Exactly
don't
what I'll
have.
send is a
I
message.
don't have.
Open
I
the
don't have
door.
a. Yeah, I don't have a hacking computer. Sorry.
Go ahead and make a electronics comms plus intellectual education. There you go. Okay, so now I got to figure out who this asshole is. Oh, not him. So you send the message, and uh, you get a return message, essentially stating that um, they are sending somebody to open the door. And when the after a good 15 minutes, the door does open.
We are currently not entertaining visitors.
Yes, right. Yeah, you showed up at a terrible time. Let me zoom out here. Where is? Let me guess it. Oh
So
no,
who's the leader of this team?
31 is an airlock. Right over there. So I'm going to just drop one token down because these maps are huge. Yes.
I was also wrong. I've got the auto helmet. It does not do the gloves. It's just the helmet. So
Okay.
I'll be a penalty for anything.
Yeah, but at least you won't have to be at a penalty for recon checks.
Yeah.
So the door opens, and on the inside you see this gentleman wearing a Solomani Confederation Army uniform. And he is not armed. He opens the door, and he says, "Come on in, come on in. They've already started this. He doesn't want to say the word mutiny. He says they've already started this situation."
Well, we want to make sure there's few lives endangered as possible.
He says he doesn't think that it's going to be um, it's not going to be that difficult. There are only um, two, four. Oh, there we go. So he says that that Lieutenant Carstairs, being the political officer aboard, only has 4 other members of the crew that are working as monitors for her. They are armed, but now there's only 3 of them that are a danger to us, because one of them is in engineering and is critically wounded. And he then kind of pauses and thinks about it for a second. He says, "Did you guys bring a med kit? Because we're kind of locked out of stuff. They're currently locked out of the armory. They're locked out of
Yes,
medical systems."
we've got med kits.
He says, but he says that that Lieutenant Carstairs basically assumed command and replaced Commander Rex Whalen, who was the commanding officer of Frank Wild, and that he fully admits. He says that Commander Whalen did have somewhat of a mental break after being out here for so many years, and the constant or the consistent failure or of engineering over time. And so he had a mental break, and so Carstairs assumed command. But it's obvious that Carstairs is semi-new to her job at Solsec. She believes that everybody is out to get her. From the second that she assumed command, she immediately assumed that the crew was going to mutiny against her. She locked everything down. She has basically been running people in double duty shifts, sometimes triple duty shifts, in order to. He says he's not sure what she's doing. They then made a second miss jump, and she continues to press forward, and seemingly and doing random jumps, trying to refine the crew. But with every jump, he says that the engineering team is saying that there's a higher percentage chance of another misjump. He says we could end up anywhere.
Yeah, I agree. We could hear that the engines had there was a problem with the engines, but that's before they shut off. Or that is.
Yeah,
Let's.
There's a problem.
You've got injured. Why don't you take us to the injured person so we can help them immediately?
Okay. So he says, okay, well, keep your head down. If we run into any of these monitors, they're likely to shoot first, and then he says probably not ask any questions about you at all. But they'll ask me a lot of questions if you're with me. So he takes you to this lift that takes you up from deck 1 to deck 2. Or actually, rather, it goes all the way up to deck 3 up here. Really? They have a lift that goes into storage. Anyways, and so he tells you that you'll have to, that from here we're going to have to move aft and there is a monitor in the. That means that you're going to have to pass the armory where there is a monitor. So he says. I barely was able to skirt past. Now that we're a bigger group, it's very likely that they're going to notice it.
I'll activate the camo on my vac suit and put the helmet up.
Okay. I don't know that that either. All right. Maybe that wasn't.
How does the monitoring work? Are we talking about an actual individual that would be on guard? Okay.
Yeah, they're just their title. They're basically deputies. She deputized them to be monitors for Solsec.
Yeah, I was just hoping it was something you could sneak up on him, maybe put some duct tape over, but it's harder to do that with the guard.
I mean, you can put duct tape over the guard. And
yeah, well, I mean, we could just always knock him out.
It just popped into my head. I'm sorry. So you hit the camouflage on your vac suit, and immediately everybody notices that Sarda now looks like he's in an inflatable frog suit. So this guy tells you that
Portland camo.
Yeah, Portland camo. Oh shit. And so he tells you that moving aft, there is a door that goes through the basically through the crew decks, staterooms, and then moves aft from there to engineering. There is conveniently, this is the brig and this is the med bay. They're obviously locked out of both. He said last time that he heard that there was some movement, that some of the engineering team was trying to get Commander Whalen out, and hopefully that they would have some kind of way of getting into the armory. He says, I would personally feel much more less naked if I were armed, but things are what they are. So, obviously, Pappy and Mel do not have camo options. What are you guys' plans? Are you just going to stealth it, or?
I could sneak up on the guy maybe and stun him, and then, then you guys couldn't move up if we were only talking about one guard.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that idea.
I'm looking for the camo. Here it is.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's got a definite distance that it's good for.
It looks like
it's the chameleon full motion.
Oh, okay. Chameleon full motion. DM +3 to all stealth checks.
As close as 20 meters range, though.
Right. All right. So go ahead and make a stealth plus dex check with +3.
Okay. Come on. Skills. Nice.
Excellent. So while Sarda is this right here,
you got to sneak up real close with those stunners. They've got very short ranges.
Yeah, isn't it like 5 meters or?
I think it's 10 with this one, but it's still very short. The tech level 12, I believe, has a little bit longer range, but it's not fantastic.
Yeah, 10 meters, tech level 12. Yeah, that's pretty. That's close enough.
You're not getting your bonus to hit very often.
Right. So 17 is the brig, or not the brig, the armory where this Solsec monitor is stationed. What is Mel and Pappy? Are you guys setting yourselves up so that you can cover Sarda, or what are you guys doing? Just hanging back?
In case I
I
trip,
mean,
I might
stay
trip.
close but not far.
Okay.
In
I'll
case
see
I,
if I can provide cover without being exposed, without people screwing up his stealth opportunity.
Right.
he's gonna trip on the front door and eat it. Just,
Okay, let me see if he.
so is he? What's the situation? Is he behind glass or is this? What's?
He is standing outside the door that leads into the armory. You can see that the door panel is clearly in the locked position. It's got the red
Right.
light. Aside from that, he is armed with a 10 millimeter auto pistol in a holster and a 10 millimeter submachine gun, and he's wearing a flak jacket.
Yeah, I'm just gonna shoot him.
Well, let me see if he. Man, he's got jack and shit for recon. So, likely, you're going to do all right.
Yeah, it's just whether or not he's going to be standing for the second, whether or not it's going to require a second shot. I'm hoping I can take him out with one shot.
Yeah,
That's
he got a
tough.
1.
Wow. All
So
right.
the people that she chose to be her monitors do not have the recon skill, and they only have an 8 for intellect. So I don't know how much these guys are supposed to see, but if it's not happening right in front of them and is blatant, treason, they're probably not going to see much. These guys look like they belong in paranoia and not traveler. So go ahead and you get your sneak attack. Go ahead and make your shot. Oof. Oof.
That
Okay.
is, I think, 19 damage because I don't believe it adds the 5 in.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
3d6 plus 0. No, it did. It does add it in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was a 9 rolled, and then the 5 was the added on from the effect.
Well, it's not going to matter because he took that was all of his endurance, and he immediately crumples to the. Oh wait, he does have armor though. That's right.
It's not a lot, but it
No,
is.
he does have some. Let me double check that. Uh, 5. Nope, it's still 0. Exactly enough to knock him unconscious, and he crumples to the ground. This blue arc jumps out from your stunner, and he just crumbles
Okay.
just in
I'll just
case.
sort of look back and give you guys the big thumbs up.
Him off the board. So yeah, at the end of the hall, you can see that there is, of course, a iris valve that leads into the staterooms, crew staterooms, that you know that you have to meander through. And so when you guys make your way in, well, are you? Here's a question: you have the monitor down, and you are at the armory. Are you unlocking the armory, or are you moving on?
Yeah, let's unlock the armory. Let's see if it has some kind of sensor unit that I can, look at. Get some internal scanners looking at stuff.
So on this guy, he doesn't have a key card or anything. The armory is locked with a biometric scan. I mean, you've got his hand, so you
Okay, is it? Yeah, hand. Yeah.
You just slap his palm on the door scanner, and the armory is unlocked. He is authorized. In here, there is a bunch of essentially the same things he's carrying: 10 millimeter auto pistols, 10 millimeter submachine guns. There are some flak jackets available. Um, there are also 6 millimeter carbines. I don't see anything like grenades. There are a couple of 8 millimeter revolvers.
The stuff that's not going to break the hull.
Yeah, well, I mean, even a 10 millimeter round or an 8 millimeter round or the 6 millimeter carbine, they're unlikely to go through. I mean, it's not impossible, but they're
It's
unlikely.
that laser. It's that laser rifle. You got to worry
Yes,
about
the laser rifle. Don't mess with the
missing.
laser.
So what you're saying is shoot wildly and care about. Don't worry about what I hit.
uh,
Yes,
That's what I
exactly.
heard.
Yes,
is there any sort of modern equipment or anything? Is this just literally a closet for
it's
weapons and
literally
gear?
just a closet for weapons. But I had a question. Is
Is
I
there
don't
a
even know
chair?
if it's in here.
Is there a chair in here?
No, actually, it is just a small room with racks on the walls with carbines, SMGs, pistols, and a couple of and like of a throw open locker that's got some flak jackets in it.
All right,
Um,
we'll just pull this guy in here and leave him laying on the floor.
okay,
Put a flak jacket under his head. It's like a pillow.
sleep tight. Uh,
Because I think with the stunner, you're out for a bit, or maybe it's less
Can we
time.
zip tie him or something?
oh yeah, I'm sure there would be zip ties in here.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
now
No,
that
I'm
he's
sure.
immobilized, let's at least like bind him.
And if anybody wants a gun or anything, feel free.
Yeah, help yourself. Uh, so
This is
I
just
was
a
just
small arms locker. Like we don't have any tactical nukes to sit in here.
no. There's no tac nukes. This is just a 2010 ship. This is just their armory. I mean, what is the standard crew on a Tenzig? Probably not. I mean, at 2010s, it's probably not huge. Oh, this. Uh,
I think you have some hand-to-hand weaponry too, possibly.
I would say they probably have stun sticks and stunners in here too. I was just looking at the Solomani front book, and there's a lot of information in here about the Solomani, but not a lot of very good mechanical information. I mean, there's not. They don't have like a um, an arms and equipment for Solomani. They don't have. They do have some ships, but it's very strange. Very
I
strange.
mean, I would think they'd pretty much have the same stuff, right? I mean,
Probably very
obviously,
close. Yeah.
yeah, obviously there'd be a certain point where they didn't. There's a divergence, but
Yeah. So they have captain, political officer, executive officer, and astrogator is in the flight group. Engineering, there are 3 engineers, and engineering and technical group of 6 personnel. So there's 9 in engineering. Deck officer, gunnery officer, medical officer, and a group of 8 personnel for deck crew, and then senior mission specialist, a various number of mission specialists and mission support personnel, various numbers. So I mean, you're probably looking at, it looks like about 50 people total crewing this ship, which is 100 times less than what you're used to.
Yeah, I mean, getting to the bridge, I think, is probably a priority.
Right, yeah. So you get into the armory and kind of unlock it. Moving in as you are moving through um, the crew quarters, you do meet up with another two Solomani. They look like they are obviously engineers. They're not wearing necessarily SolSec uniforms. They're wearing more of like engineering overalls and jumpsuits. And with them, that you do see an older gentleman with a full beard, bald on top, and all three of you can make an intelligence check. So just 2D plus your int modifier.
2D plus intellect.
Yep. Ooh.
Oh, you all got it. Okay. So you immediately recognize the rank structure on this guy's uniform as being rank of commander. This is Commander Rex Whalen, and he kind of steps in front of these two engineers. He says, "Who the blazes are you?" And he kind of looks you over, and he says, I don't recognize that uniform." And the guy that's been escorting you and came to answer the door, his name is Pieter or Peter. He steps forward and he says, "Commander Whalen, it's so good to see you, sir. These are crew members from a ship from the Third Imperium. It seems they are from the Deepnight Revelation." And he immediately, Commander Whalen kind of steps back and says, "Imperium, what are you doing aboard our ship?"
We came to help out. It appears that your drives are not functioning and you're about to go through atmosphere at a bad angle. We thought we could come and help stabilize things and help with your engineering problems.
So he,
On top of that, we have spent 9.5 years traveling from the Imperium, jumping the whole way. We have maps that show safe passage back for anyone that has possibly lost their way.
so he is kind of thankful for you arriving when you did. He says, well, let's get to engineering. I hear there's an injured man down there, and we can't let him expire, no matter
Correct.
whose side he's on." And so, as he leads you back to engineering, he basically tells you that this exploration fleet is a group of 3 ships. They are. I can give you some specifics here.
The Nuna.
Yeah, the Pinta and the Santa Maria.
Yes,
The Nuna.
exactly those. No, the obviously the Frank Wild, and there is the Husei and the I'm gonna massacre this, Angtharke. Now, the Leonard Husey, the Angtharke, and the Frank Wild are the 3 ships. Though, if you didn't know, those ships are all named after, and this is metagaming. Your characters probably wouldn't know this because you're Villani. Um, those are all people from Ernest Shackleton's Antarctic expedition, and he tells you that they originally had a 4th ship. It was a light carrier, the Ustinov, but the Ustinov had problems early on and ended up having suffering a drive failure, and they misjumped. They searched for them in a 150 parsec radius and were unable to find them. They assume now that the Ustinov is missing. Hopefully, they can limp home, but their fate is unknown. And so these three ships, that happened fairly early on in their voyage. They are about as far out as you guys are. They traveled entirely along the rimward side of the Great Rift. So they didn't have to do the crossing that you guys did. They are about 9 years out, but they're and he tells you pretty much point blank they are strictly a research mission. They detected long range scans of a gravitational fluctuation towards the edge of the Great Rift, and so they have sent out the Solomani Confederation funded this research project to send out these ships to investigate what this gravitational anomaly is. What he's basically telling you coincides with what you already know, is that there is a gravitational anomaly. The Deepnight Exploration LIC and the Third Imperium have referred to it as Terminus Point, where you know that the Deepnight entity, you've tracked it, and that's where it's likely coming from.
Yeah, I'll say we are actually headed to that same location ourselves.
And he says, "Oh, so the Imperium has detected it as well." As you guys enter in, he continues his explanation. As you guys enter into the engineering section of the jump drives, there is, of course, this two people are injured, an engineer and another Solsec monitor, who is down. He is down to 1 dexterity point. He has lost all of his strength and all of his endurance. The engineer is injured, but he's not even unconscious. This guy is laying there gurgling. He doesn't have much longer to live. What do you guys want to do with him?
Are you actually trained in medic, Mel?
I'm going to verify, but I'm pretty damn sure the answer to that question is no.
All right. If you're
I
not,
somebody had medic.
right?
No, fuck me, I am.
Oh yeah. So you're going to be much better than I. If you don't have a med kit, I'll be happy to loan you mine. But
Is medic? It's intellect, right?
Intellect or education.
And that's why I was the +3. So
I mean, really,
gross.
the way that goes, like first aid is pretty much an intellect check, whereas in this guy's case, it's probably going to be an education check.
Yes.
Well, then not me.
It's the tech level 14, so that I believe is +3.
I believe that is correct. It's either +2 or +3.
I'm pulling it up here. It's great that I just wrote down the tech level. Didn't bother writing anything else down.
That
Right.
can't be fucking right.
Wait, what? 2d6.
2 + 4 + 4 + 3. That was the fuck. That was my
Oh,
mistake.
yes, that's it. I was like, what?
So 6, 10, 13.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you rolled a 6. Yeah, you've got +7.
Oh.
So that would heal back 5 points. He's probably still not conscious, but he's definitely not about to die.
So yeah,
Oh, he's fine.
the advanced
He's fine.
the advanced tech level 14 kit is +3. So
like, if I made another med kit check, would that make a difference or no?
no.
Okay.
But
Yes, first aid's kind of a well. If he'd screwed that up, he would have killed the guy. So
Gotcha.
possibly, yeah. Usually, you're only going to do damage if you are, like if you're
snake eyes.
Well, or if you're performing surgery. So yeah, you stabilize him, but he is still unconscious. He is in dire need. He needs a surgery team, is what he needs.
I am not that.
Do you guys have low berths or auto docks?
I would think that their med bay would have auto docks. Currently, those doors are locked from the bridge. The engineering team. So while Mel is working on this guy, trying to keep him from bleeding out, the engineering team tells you that they actually used Commander Wayland's codes. The chief engineer had the codes that locked out the bridge. They then, some of them, grabbed the Solsec officer and tossed her into her quarters and locked the door. And they encoded it with Commander Wayland's code. So she's locked in her quarters right now. Her monitors are out free, but they also locked out the drives, and the only person that can unlock them is somebody who has Commander Wayland's codes, and so that means you guys. And Wayland, so when you told him that Deepnight Revelation was heading to the same spot, he makes the comment. He says, "Oh, so Deepnight, or so the Third Imperium has detected the gravitational anomaly as well." And he says, it says something about it's strange that you call it terminus point, but that actually that nomenclature fits. It is kind of an end point.
We're also we're also pursuing a incredibly dangerous plant fungus
Yeah,
that
it's a fungus.
that becomes intelligent once it has a large enough colony. It basically devours entire biospheres of planets, and we believe that it is also at this terminus point. I can provide visual. I can provide footage of us dealing with this particular species of creature. We also know that we're not the only ones that have pursued them. We've run into evidence that the
Droin.
the droid the droid have thousands of years ago been pursuing these creatures and headed towards the terminus point.
So he seems both genuinely concerned by this and maybe a bit incredulous. He says he says that that's very strange. We, as far as I know, the Confederation has not detected anything like that. We have detected no fungus like what you're describing. We were simply, as far as I know, and he says, and of course the Confederation Navy doesn't always tell its commanding officers everything. But as far as I know, we're only investigating this strange gravitational anomaly. Kind of, it's a and you guys are aware of this too. The gravitational anomaly at Terminus Point is large enough that it is it's giving off gravitational waves to the tune of like 1,000 uh, neutron stars. I mean, it's just it's you can't miss it. It's there, and so it's obviously anybody that's going to detect this is going to look at it and be like, well, what the hell is that? And so of course the Solomani were like, hey, we can just send ships out there, and so that's what they're doing. Meanwhile, in the Third Imperium, they're like, yeah, that's really strange, but we're not going to bother spending money on this until something much worse comes along, and then came along the fungus, and so now you're kind of killing two birds with one stone.
Well, I'll make the comment that maybe the fungus never found its way across the rift, which
it is apocalyptic, world-ending shit.
Yeah.
Truth.
Anyway, we're happy to share whatever information we have. Some of us are very, very good with jump drives, and so we'd be happy to look at what needs to be done. You may need to build a dry docks. It looks like this ship can actually land on a planet safely, which is nice. It makes it much easier to work on than having to build a dock in space.
So so Commander Wayland, these engineers, now that you've unlocked the armory, these engineers kind of arm themselves and alleviate the rest of the SolSec monitors. They kind of deal with it on their own, and the um,
I'd encourage you to use the stunners and the stun batons. You know,
yeah, no, they're not killing anybody. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
on the one hand, these are yes, they are these monitors, but on the flip side, they're also their crewmates, and so this mutiny that took place a wasn't a treasonous action. They were attempting to alleviate the situation, and the Lieutenant Carstairs was not adept at being in command. That was the entire thing, and
Right.
there was no line of inquiry that anybody aboard the ship, no matter what their rank was, that the Confederation policy would allow for them to remove her. There, so it was either this or suffer the consequences. And he tells you, Commander Wayland tells you, he says, he says you seem like very very good people, especially considering that you're willing to share the information that you have. And he says it's unfortunate that we've met under these circumstances. He says so. He says it's up to you whether if you want to stay or not. He says I have really no choice. He says whether you want to believe it or not, um, I am a loyal citizen of the Confederation. And he says,
Well, I think.
well, he tells you
Go.
it's his duty. He has to let Carstairs out of her quarters, and he says, and that's going to essentially lead to a court martial, like right here. And he says it's very possible that if I can't convince her over to our side to see reason, that she's going to round up the heart of this mutiny and just summarily execute people.
Yeah, just try to do the right thing. And
Right, and he tells you that essentially he's not sure how she's going to react to you guys being aboard. Initially, at least, it's probably not going to be good. But he also feels at the same time that maybe what we really need here, if you are willing to stay, is maybe we do need a third party that is from the outside looking in that can give us an arbitrary kind of view of things. If
What's
you
our
get the,
title? Is it commander? I'm trying to remember what their title
so
officially.
so the captain of the ship is ranked as commander. He is Commander
Okay.
Rex Whalen. She is Lieutenant Carstairs of Solsec. She's the political officer.
Right. In terms of our ranking, I couldn't remember what were our
So you guys
position.
are ranked as commanders.
Commanders.
You
Okay.
are the usually there's one commander of mission division, and you guys kind of all decided to share the rank, so you're all commanders of
Okay.
the division.
Right. Okay. Uh, and so, yeah, let's go talk to her, and see if we can't be of assistance in helping come to a solution.
How about we talk to her from half an astronomical unit away in an armed spaceship?
You could do that too. Or you could bring her aboard your ship and be surrounded by a bunch of armed people. I mean, there's that option too.
I don't want to be overtly hostile. I do not want to start a shooting war inside the ship. But if one's going to start, I want big guns.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
mean,
saying we don't know what she's going to do as soon as we open the door, right? And we're going to have to open the door one way or another. So, are you just saying
What I'm
stun her?
saying is let them open the fucking door while after we get back to our ship so that we're not stuck in hand-to-hand combat.
Well, and this Commander Whalen immediately he says that he felt once he learned of the situation. Keep in mind he was in the dark because he was locked in his quarters. He's been in solitary confinement of his quarters for 3 months. So that didn't really. He seems a bit shaky to you. He doesn't.
Yeah,
That certainly didn't help his mental breakdown. But it is his understanding that Revelation, of course, is a much larger ship, and it is his fear that Lieutenant Kerstairs is paranoid enough that and trying to basically toe the line enough that she might take a shot. And if that's the case, then this entire ship is going to be destroyed because there's no way that the Frank Wild can stand up in a fight against a 75,000 ton warship. It's impossible.
Yeah, I'd be happy to volunteer to be an intermediary if in terms of resolving the conflict between intelligence and the rest of the crew. I'm sorry, it's not intelligence, right? It's OPSEC.
So what are you asking?
I mean,
Solsec?
Yeah, Solsec. When you release her, I mean, obviously she's going to want to resolve things, and you are also commander, so there is a bit of a conflict, right, between the two of you. I'd be happy to work as an intermediary, an outside third party that has no interest whatsoever in your future, in helping resolve the conflict with as little, a few problems as possible.
Yeah, he would be exceptionally grateful for that. One thing to note is that even some of the rest of the crew members, the general crew members, all three of you can make, first of all, make a recon plus intellect check.
Sure.
By the way, I'm not saying that we don't try to resolve this conflict. I'm just saying she will have a perfectly reasonable response of freaking the fuck out to see a giant ship outside her window and then we're on her bridge. So maybe we diffuse this tension.
Oh, no.
Fuck off the bridge.
Be right out.
Our ship and say, hey guys.
We're going to be right outside her bedroom.
Yeah, even more reason for a paranoiac to fucking lose her shit.
With the spinal mount charging up.
Well, we're going to be helping free her.
Yes. Permanently. So Pappy doesn't really gather this, but Mel and Sarda, all of these crew members that you've met, and as the Commander Wayland and these crew members kind of lead you guys to the bridge, and you note that all of them, including Wayland, all seem exceptionally tired, like they are exhausted. And so this is kind of backing what you were told, is that as soon as she took command, she was ordering the crew to do double and triple shifts, and essentially it follows, what you've been told is that she's been seemingly jumping randomly. Now, this is the story that you're getting from the general crew members. Now, not all of the general crew, of course, not all of them, beyond the engineering crew, not all of them really supported the idea of a mutiny, but all of them can agree that this has been an untenable situation. Commander Whalen, he refuses to admit that he actually had a mental breakdown, as the rest of the crew have been telling you. He just keeps emphasizing that he was just very, very tired, and that he made some mistakes because of his exhaustion.
But he was in charge then. So
right.
Why was he so exhausted? I thought she was the one putting everybody to death.
Well, because he was exhausted because Basically, they did a misjump. He was trying to recalculate, or getting his crew to recalculate their position. Things were breaking down constantly. The ship is not in a very great state, and that's when she decided that she was going to relieve him of command. She then promptly misjumped, and instead of saying, okay, we need to put down and try to repair the jump drive, or at least band-aid the jump drive, she has been insisting on continuing to jump. Waylon tells you, and he kind of shushes the rest of the crew, and he explains that he does not believe that Lieutenant Carstairs was randomly jumping trying to find the fleet. She knows as well as he does that there were a classified set of rendezvous points that if a misjump were to occur, that they would jump to those coordinates and await until the rest of the fleet showed up. He believes that she was trying to get to those coordinates, and the drive was just not working with her because it kept misjumping. So he on the one hand, he says that he didn't have a breakdown, that he was just very, very tired. But on the other hand, he's defending her decision. He's saying, well, yeah, but she was just trying to get to these rendezvous points so that we could rejoin the fleet. So there's some murmuring among the crew. They're like, yeah, this is bullshit. And some other ones were like, well, yeah, that makes sense. It's a mixed bag.
So can we test the air here? Make sure that we're getting a good dose of oxygen for everybody's time.
maybe everybody's hypoxic.
Yeah,
you test the air.
Just double check real quick.
Yeah, no, the air's fine. I mean, the
Okay.
CO2 scrubbers could probably be in better shape, but yeah, no, you're not detecting anything amiss.
Now it's
Figure-
time to be paranoid. If people are tired, their ship is malfunctioning. What are the early symptoms of this
Toxic plasmosis.
yeah, whatever the fuck this Deepnight entity is? We don't, it's obviously not toxic plasmosis, but
Yeah, just
no.
start accusing everybody of being infected. That's it. You're all going into quarantine.
yeah, or they have a bunch of cats. It might in fact be toxic plasmosis.
Possible.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. Let's. So that those two people are not dying. Did we do a first aid on the second individual too? The engineer.
Oh no. So Pappy can do that. That's just
You do?
it's going to be a medic plus intellect or education check. Your choice.
+3
And you get a +3.
for the
Medic intellect +3. Okay.
or education, whichever's better.
Definitely intellect. I am uneducated.
Nice.
Okay.
So yeah, you stitch him up. He gets 1 point back, and but you stabilize him. He's stitched up. He will probably need a little bit of surgery, but nothing huge. You stopped any major blood loss for the time being.
It'll be a cool scar.
And so now that they've got the ship back under Waylon's control, of course the sick bay is unlocked, and so they get these two into the sick bay. They took the rest of the monitors, including the one that was passed out in the armory, and they stuck them in the brig for now.
Sure.
But Commander Waylon emphasizes that they're in the brig, but we are not filing any charges against them because they were doing as they were ordered.
Yeah, fine.
And so they bust out Lieutenant Carstairs, and she comes on the bridge. She is looking a bit frazzled. She's fairly young. She's looking a bit frazzled. Her what would normally be a crisp, clean uniform is a bit wrinkled. There's hairs sticking out in various wild spots from under her cap. The immediate look that you get from her is that she is completely paranoid. But um, as she comes onto the bridge, she grabs her uniform and kind of pulls it tight. Um, that shows that she is a little bit paranoid, but she is also at the same time adamant that she was correct in her actions. Um, so she her appraisal, she lets you guys know that her appraisal of the captain's state of mind, what she brings forth is that yes, he did have a mental breakdown, and essentially the evidence that she gives is a lot more damning than his own explanation. That she acted with her remit, which gives her the ability to assume command under these kinds of situations. Once she was in command, she faced resistance from the crew. There are many who will say that, of course, among the crew, that will tell you that she was overplaying her cards, and that she was forced, because of that, she was forced to take harsh measures in order to preserve the ship and allow the ship to continue on its mission. Um, she
How many have you been on your mission?
They've been on it for probably this fleet's probably been out about 7.5 years
Yeah,
compared, because they didn't have to cross the rift and all that shit.
yeah, it's a long time. It's rough. So what you need to do is, I don't think either of you were wrong in what you were doing. The problem is that you were ignoring your ship. Your ship needs work, and you shouldn't be jumping with jump drives that are not peak condition. And so what you need to do is you need to take time to work on your ship and to let people rest, let people relax, get off, go to while you're on planet working on your ship, give people R&R so that they can relax. You guys have been on, it's been tough. We've dealt with this ourselves. We've been out for over 9.5 years. It's tough.
Go ahead and make a persuasion plus social check, or
Okay.
either persuasion plus social, or your choice, persuasion plus intellect, because this is kind of a.
No, it would definitely be social.
I'm much more sociable than I am smart.
And leadership would be even better, but persuade, okay.
Yeah, I'd allow you to make a leadership. You can make a leadership plus social.
10.
Okay, so she kind of listening to your speech about how she needs to allow the crew to relax and they need to focus on the ship. The ship is a problem. You can see her kind of relax and her demeanor almost hanging her head a bit. And she admits that Commander Wayland was correct. She was attempting to reunite with the rest of the expedition. And her hope was that as soon as they did so, that she could lay down her self-imposed burden of taking over command of this ship. And so she freely admits that perhaps you're right. That perhaps pushing on with the drives in their current state was not advisable. And she says the unfortunate part about that is that roughly 2 years ago there was an accident, and they lost their jump drive technician. It's not that they don't have other special or other engineers aboard, but this guy really knew their jump drives inside and out, and so some of the maintenance that he would have carried out has gone by the wayside. And unfortunately, they only had one of these guys between initially all four of the ships, and that they would just shuttle him back and forth. And,
holy crap.
Right.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Well, I'm something of an engineer myself, if you look at things.
Well played.
So yeah, so she if
We also have replicators. It does appear that this ship can break Atmo. What do we need to do to land on this planet? Uh,
so the maneuver drive is functional, at least for now. As soon as they put the codes in and re-enable it. So yeah, I mean they can set it down, or Pappy can even sit in the chair and try to take her down. Um, that's not a problem. Sarda, you can go ahead and make a engineering plus J drive, or I'm sorry, engineering J drive plus intellect or education check.
okay. 10.
Nice. So yeah, looking it over, you almost immediately can recognize that they are having the same problem that Deepnight Revelation had when you had to put in for dry dock back in the Grand Republic.
Just wear and tear.
Yeah, it's just overall wear and tear.
Wear and tear.
Your guess would be that Frank Wild might be the worst of the three ships, but your guess is that those other two ships are probably starting to experience the same problems, and if they're not yet, they're going to very soon. So all three of their ships, uh, the other two that aren't here right now, your guess is that those other two ships are probably going to start experiencing this exact same malfunctions. You already know how to fix it. So you're guessing, and you can do this in space. You can make some immediate repairs over the course of about 3 days that can get the ship to limp to the rendezvous point. And then once all three, assuming that the other two ships are at the rendezvous point, once all three are there, you can then work on towards setting down on a planet and beginning work for a long-term solution.
And everything I'm doing, I'm videotaping, and I'll be talking out loud as I do it.
Okay.
The recording thing, and I just want to turn that over to them so that because it's one of those things where they're going to have to learn this stuff, and so the best thing we can do is talk it out while I'm doing it so that they can see what I'm doing.
Right. So okay. Over the course of this 3 days of you kind of talking things out, and their engineering crews are helping you, Pappy, you you more or less get a formal tour of the ship this time without having to keep tactical awareness in mind, and you note that they have two ground craft that they are using. Now, of course, Deepnight Revelation has a number of ground craft. Theirs are kind of interesting. So they have the FAMAT 12 ATV. This is their big ATV, and this thing's a big wheeled sucker, and it's like a bus. It's bifurcated, and it kind of snakes its way along, and this thing's rather large. I mean, crew of 11. So, it's got internal labs and whatnot in it. The other one that you see, and you immediately almost salivate looking at this thing because it looks like a lot of fun, is the Outrider Grav platform. So this thing, the pilot sits in a seat that is akin to like a G-bike, and it is attached to a gondola on the back that either has seats in it or the seats can be removed to make it a flatbed truck. And this thing is nimble and quick. And the other pilots are talking. They're like, "Oh yeah, this thing's a lot of fun to fly, man. This thing's a gas."
I want the specs for this thing, and I want us to either get this as a reward for saving their asses or learn how to make one for ourselves.
And so while Pappy is out looking at their toys, Uh, Mel, you are given the opportunity to kind of go over, with Commander Wayland and Lieutenant Carstairs, kind of go over their logs. And you can make a electronics computers plus education check.
I don't know why it took me so long to find the fucking button.
Dude, I know. I've had those days. I'm having one of those days where I'm like, 2 plus 2 is 4, right? I can't do math today. I'm like, I'm not even trying to do like calculus or algebra. I'm like, I can't do simple math. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with me? So yeah, you go over kind of their logs of the journey that they've made, and it what you get from a 12 is that this is not, and you kind of already knew some of this, obviously, because of the misjumped entire empire that you just came from. They're clearly aware that this isn't the first trip that the Solomani have made out in this direction. Of course, there was the one from the Terran hegemony that led to the Great Republic, and a couple of other of those polities that you left several parsecs back. But since the Solomani Confederation, there have been at least 2 other missions that have headed out this direction. That the details are scant, a lot of redacted stuff and classified stuff, but this isn't the first mission that is headed out this way. It is the first mission that has continued in a straight line towards Terminus Point, however. You see that there were several missions that the Solomani have sent almost directly rimward. Like they're going down on the map, like towards the edge of the galactic disk. And you don't know, there's no information on what may be out there, but the Solomani seem like they're very intent on exploring in that direction for unknown reasons. In addition to that, through their logs and through all of their scientific charts and data, you're not finding any reference to the fungus or a Deepnight entity or really any kind of intellect that may be found at Terminus Point. All of their scientific data is simply looking at Terminus Point as a gravitational anomaly, and there are theories that this is either a very active supermassive black hole of the type that nobody's ever seen before, or it could be multiple black holes that are orbiting one another. But they don't know. They won't know for sure until they get there, kind of thing. That's why they're sending these ships out. It's to the Solomani, this gravitational anomaly is a big enough deal that it borders on concern, and they felt the need to go out and investigate it more closely. You're muted.
Understandable.
I'm muted.
No, Sarda's muted.
Yeah, they got to make sure that the universe isn't swallowing itself out there.
Right. The one other piece of data that you see is that the Solomani have also detected, and this is something that the scientists from the Third Imperium detected a while ago, is and they have a different name for it, but essentially what the Third Imperium refers to it as is the Empress wave. There is some kind of wave of unknown energy that is emanating from the core, from Sagittarius A star out throughout the galactic plane. There are theories that it is psychic in nature, but they're not positive. And it hasn't reached charted space yet, but they have been able to detect it. Beyond that, there is little information on what the Empress wave really is. But this isn't the first time that you probably, well, Mel may have heard about it. Sarda and Pappy may not have any information on it whatsoever, but you are on a ship full of nerds and scientists. The topic of conversation in the last 9 years has probably come up at some point, that something about, casual talk about the Empress wave and what it is, and nobody knows, essentially.
There's the great mystery.
Right. So, taking the 3 days, you get this bucket, at least limping, to the rendezvous point, and you guys kind of share, or not share, but you jump together. Commander Wayland is back in command, and Lieutenant Carstairs is right next to him the entire time. You guys can add a week to your study periods for a week and jump.
Brings me to 7.
So close. Sorry, I'm doing a copy and paste here. There we go.
That puts me at 6 weeks for.
Oh, you're at 6?
Yeah, for my finals period on Vaccine 3.
How's Pappy looking?
I got way long time to go. Missing the couple sessions that we missed, I'm at like 2 weeks of my second period.
Ugh.
It'll be a while before I have any sort of.
Don't worry,
Well,
you'll get there.
Yeah.
So at the end of the week, you come out of jump into this system that the Solomani has designated as Point Amundsen, and there is a large gas giant here, number of rocky bodies, but this world in particular has a very amenable atmosphere. It's seems to be a primordial, jungle-y, primordial Earth kind of atmosphere. And in orbit, you see that there are 2 other Tenzig-class vessels pinging as RSS Leonard Hussey, Husey, and RSS Angtharke. And they, seeing as you both the Frank Wild and Deepnight Revelation come out of orbit or come out of jump together, there's an initial alarm, of course, with something as large as 75,000 tons coming out of jump. That'll make anybody nervous. But then they immediately stand down, seeing that you guys are flying in formation, and the Frank Wild transmits information and their logs and the story of everything that has happened to both the other ships, and so they ask for everybody to meet aboard their flagship, the Angtharke, you guys included.
And so they're down a ship, right? There should be one more. Is that correct? Or is this all 3?
Yeah, so they lost that other ship probably, 6 years ago.
Okay.
It was a modified light carrier.
So it's less likely to show up here.
Yeah, very unlikely that
Okay.
they have presumed it to be lost.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And so they propose the commanding officer of Ankh-Tharke. Uh, there are two other commanders here. This is the commanding officer. Elise Apsel is the commander of the Leonard Hisse. And then there is command. Oh no, the other. She's commander of the Ankh-Tharke. The commander of the Leonard Hisse is Lieutenant Marie Valentina.
They've had some problems with staffing.
Yeah, well, they've had a evidently they've had a rather rough trip, and so she's in command of the Hisse, and they all meet the aboard the Ankh-Tharke and invite you all to join them. And they present going over the logs and the information transmitted by Frank Wild. First of all, they thank you for your assistance. They report that both the Leonard Hisse and the Ankh-Tharke are both experiencing similar drive problems. Their engineers have warned them that any further jumps could lead to misjump, and it's just going to get worse. They're proposing that we join forces. So we're all supposedly heading to the same location. We are heading to Terminus Point, as you call it, and they tell you that if you would assist us, we could set down all three of our ships on this world, and we could, of course, do repairs. Now, we're talking about probably about 3 months worth of repair work, but
Yep.
they suggest that we
Don't
join
we
forces.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish, Chris.
They're suggesting that we join forces, sending two of our best ships with you. Or rather, we'll send one of our best ships with you. Another ship will remain back here. And the third ship, the Leonard Hisse, will immediately turn and burn and start jumping back home, taking any logs and information that you want to send with her back to charted space. So essentially, even if we fail and we're never going to make it back home, at least your mission up to this point will not have been for nothing. All of that data can get back to charted space, as well as any messages that you want to send back or whatever. I mean, it'll take another 7 or 8 years before they get it, but at least you can send that information back. The commander of the Ankh-Tharke also suggests that perhaps we should do not necessarily an integration of the crews, but perhaps a sharing. If some of your crew want to spend some time aboard a Solomani ship, some of our crew could spend some time aboard your ship, and we could trade information and training back and forth that way.
Be happy to do so. We've done that in the past with other civilizations.
Getting a little ahead of what I wanted to say. Sorry, sort of. Don't we have fundamentally different missions? They're going to go observe a gravitational anomaly, and we're going there to wipe out every goddamn thing we find.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
not
about to.
necessarily wipe it out.
I'm about to get. I'm about to give him that presentation, which is basically. I'll say, we evidently our governments and corporations noticed the gravitational anomaly. They felt that it was so far away that it can't possibly affect the price of pig futures, and so they weren't going to do anything about it at all. However, that's when they stumbled into a existential crisis in the form of a fungus that appears to devour entire planets. And so we have evidence of that. It's actually what we were pursuing. And this is what you guys may encounter as you get closer to the terminus point, and basically begin. I've got the holographic projector on my sleeve, so can give them show them, this is what we encountered when they were in a small group, and show them from the planet that where we, fought a few that were moving around as humanoids.
Right.
And then show them what we encountered on the spaceship that was, basically just having to burn through these things.
Right.
And explain that, yeah. And then we've encountered them. The droid were following them back to the terminus point as well. They seem to be doing experiments on these creatures. We've run into ancient droid labs dedicated to understanding how these creatures work. And in fact, just a jump or two away from here, there's an entire hostile planet, plant-like creatures that are invasive, that are probably the result of droid experiments trying to figure out how to deal with this fungus. So this is actually why we're in this, and I just want to let you know this is far more dangerous than let's go look at the black hole.
So the commanding officer of the Anther K kind of considers this for just a brief moment, and she then announces, she says, well, after viewing your data and your hologram, she says this most certainly changes our mission. Our mission was one strictly of scientific bent. She says, obviously, if whatever this entity is, this fungus that is coming out, that has been tracked back to terminus point, whatever this is, it's not going to. It doesn't care who it is infecting or decimating along the way. It's an existential threat to everybody. And so she feels that in the interest of Solomani Confederation security, that they have to join you in your mission to eliminate the Deepnight entity as well.
We'd be pleased to have you. We could use all the help we can get. I mean, because what we understand is as this gets more dense, and there's more biomass of it, it becomes more intelligent. And so we could be facing something incredibly dangerous, as well as super intelligent.
So Commander Whalen then kind of speaks up, kind of partially under his breath, and he says, well, that explains why they sent a 75,000-ton war cruiser out here. No,
this is clearly a civilian ship.
This is clearly a scientific vessel.
Sometimes we have to astronomically analyze a spaceship with our spinal mount.
That's right. Yes. And so, yes,
that's easier to do spectral analysis when the atoms are farther apart from each other.
That's right. Yes. And so,
it's technically military surplus. It's just that it probably would not be made available to be purchased unless an unusual event was occurring.
Yes. So that is where we will break for this week. We will break. We will start the Friday after Thanksgiving with you guys doing some stuff on the planet and getting these 3 exploration ships back into shape so that they can continue on and help you with your mission, as well as getting letters home back aboard the Leonard Husay. And that's where we'll pick up.
Sounds good.
All right. I hope
Appreciate
you,
you.
Great. Have a
I,
good Thanksgiving, guys.
Yeah, I hope you
Yeah,
guys have
you
a really
too.
good Thanksgiving. We're planning on having people over, and so for the last 5 or so years, I was always adamant that I wanted to run a game on that Wednesday night and that Friday night, and it's always a clusterfuck because there's all sorts of shit going on behind me, and I'm worried about the pre-cooking that you do the night before, or on the Friday after, you're always doing decorations. I'm like, you know what? This year I'm going to be smart. I'm just going to say, screw it. We're taking the whole week off and just get through it. And so we will pick this up the Friday after.
All right, sir. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yep,
Sounds
thanks,
good.
everybody.
Take care.
Have a good night, guys.